Mike Hart, and everyone else. Wise Solace speaking. Give you all a chance to get in here. I want to explain this deep thing today. Hopefully, everyone's well. I'm going to start at around the 2 minute mark. And please come in to learn. I know you guys like to play. I'll give you guys a story about big egos before I start. And the lesson of ego. Now, in my past, when I was in the streets, like I always tell you guys, as a boss, so I had big ego. So I'm chilling with a few people. Some dude walks up. He's around it's like 600 feet. I wouldn't know, he was huge. Walks up, he says, peace and wisdom, high perspective. Let me know if I'm clear. He walks up, he says, where's cheese? So I told my man, do work. Get to handling that. What are you standing there for looking stupid? So he knocked my man out so fast. Get my other dude attention, like, get in there, don't. He just knocks on blood just knocks on, so I'll get in there. What are you standing there for looking dumb? Knock my other man out too. Knock both of them out in knock both of them out in less than 3 seconds. So I said, ooh, my other man wasn't that big, so I already knew he was gonna get knocked out, so I went ahead and slid on out of there. Moral of, moral of the story, you gotta make sure you have hands in this life. I learned that then. I said, you can't be dependent on you can't be dependent on big dudes to fight for you. Now, of course, my friends was mad at me. They were saying, like, why did I run on them? I didn't run. You were knocked out. How would you know? So we have that little discrepancy. They say I ran on them. I say you ran on me when you got knocked out. If me and you together, dude walks up, knocks you clean out, you left me to me. You get it? You left me. You were done. I had to make split decisions. So I slid. Now, that was my story. I know you guys like to play a lot. Thank you for the sound check, higher perspective. Now let's get to the deep wisdom. I know a lot of you guys are young. Y'all don't know many things from before. In that, there's a separation in the generations in understanding certain things, maybe everything. Now, in the past, you had a thing called spirit summoning practices. Everybody has their own perspective of this. I don't want you to get lost in your own perspective or any perspective you heard. But I just want you to focus on the part that you may have heard in regards to spirit summoning, where they used to bound the spirits. Maybe you've read the Lesser Key of Solomon. The Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Lemegeton. Or maybe you've read the Book of the Offices of Spirits. any of these books dealing with spirit summoning and, the spirits, the seals, the order of them. If you've read any book like that, even in the Brahmalin the Mage, it speaks of, a Brahmalin getting a young man, to set up whatever he was setting up so that he can bound a spirit. So I'm sure everyone's heard of some sort of practice where they bind spirits and then use them for information. Now, that was the past. Whether you understood that or not, what they've done now is they've bound the spirits to the cell phones. So however they were bounding the spirits in the past, that time is over, everything evolves. They have the spirits bound to the cell phones, and this gives the spirits access into our world, and it gives the spirit control over the user. So you can look at Google or Siri like the spirit that has been assigned over you in perspective. Like I said, they've bound the spirits to the cell phones. And so you can look at Siri or Google like a spirit that's over you, that watches and listens in. This is the whole purpose. The spirits went in the physical. This is the medium, so to say. Now, you may have heard NDE stories, or maybe you've seen a movie where dead people are watching their loved ones who are still alive on TV, though. Maybe you've seen a movie, heard an NDE story where a person died and they were shown things on television. It's like I said, they have the spirits bound to the cell phones, or these new devices that we have. The flat screen TV, the cell phone, whatever looks like a scrying mirror when it's cut off. You get my point? Now, it's all a poltergeist thing or a crystal screen, crystal ball thing. Now, I want to explain from the beginning, so hopefully all of you guys are following so far. Now, if you're young, in the 1800s, all the way up to my childhood, could have been before the 1800s, but it was patented in the 1800s. And all the way up to my childhood, I'm 42, so I was a child in the 80s and 90s. All the way up to my childhood, they had this board game called Ouija, or Ouija, and it was a talking spirit board. Now, how it worked was like this. You use the little mouse to spell out whatever question you have for the spirit. And the mouse would move on its own, spelling back the answer, pretty much whatever the spirit said. Kind of think like a keyboard in mouse, no screen. And you kind of type in your question, and then it types back. But of course, you would have to write down the letters so you could see what was written. I'm giving you an example. The Ouija board was like a cardboard keyboard in mouse, but before computer time. So it's kind of like a computer without the screen, but a cardboard version. Now, this was used to communicate with spirits. Now, of course, you also had what is known as a black mirror or scrying mirror. And this was used in divination as well, or spiritum practices, communicating with the spirits. But this one was for one to see in, or for the spirit to see out. So I'm sure you guys heard of scrying mirrors. And I know in today's times everybody has their perspective, but the scrying mirror would have worked like that. It's for you to see in to that darkness or the spirit realms, and it's for the whatever's in that darkness to see out. It's not so much a verbal conversation or a typing conversation, but a seeing thing, a scrying thing. Now, scrying mirror was kind of used like y'all phones. Just imagine how y'all be on y'all phones Googling. But imagine if the phone was off. Now, both of those toys that I just named are devices. They're the toy version of what we know now as the computer. So you had the Ouija board game, you had the scrying mirror. These both being toy versions of a computer. A computer being around at that time, but not a public thing, an elite thing. And so I'm saying that so you can grasp the computer is the real Ouija board. The keyboard, the mouse, the screen, the typing back and forth. Now, the first computers ain't have anything to do with the public. And so you have to ask yourself, who was they typing to? Again, before y'all got computers, computers was around and they were using them. But for what? Who are you communicating with if nobody else got no computer? It's like I said, the computer was a real Ouija board. The Ouija board that we have was just a toy. And so the computers was used by the elites for searching for spirits. Basically what you know the Ouija board to be, if you can understand the Ouija board is like a keyboard and mouse, and a scrying mirror is like a screen. You merge them together, both of those things being for talking to spirits some kind of way, then you can grasp, oh, speed along ahead, you have the computer, which is exactly that. That just being a toy thing that was sold to the public. The computer was something that was kept hidden, but it was known of. And so I'm giving you guys an example or an understanding that the computer is a Ouija board or something that was used to communicate with the spirits. If you guys are following, let me know. Put up a one or something. Now, a laptop and an iPhone that we have in today is just the consumer version of the Ouija board and the scrying mirror. When I say iPhone, meaning, like I said, this generation, you guys don't understand many things. So, you know how you guys have iPhones and Androids? Y'all are lost in time. iPhone means internet phone. The first internet phone or iPhone that was made by Apple back in like 2007, 2008, 2006, whenever. During that time, you had flip phones, maybe BlackBerry phones, maybe, but you had Androids basically. Phones that were not internet access phones, or they had very limited internet access, kind of like a two-way. In that, when the iPhone, which is just an internet phone, came out, all other phones were Androids. Meaning during that time, if you said, I have an iPhone and the next person has an Android, they would have had like a flip phone or something. Now, of course, after Apple made the first iPhone or internet phone, and they named it that, the other phone companies like Galaxy, Samsung, Chinese stuff, they can't use the name iPhone because they named it that. In that, when they update their products to be iPhones as well, they can't name it an iPhone, but it's an internet phone, no different than the iPhone. This is why if you ask a young person in the day, what's the difference between an iPhone and a Galaxy? They're gonna say a Galaxy is an Android. It's because they don't understand that. That would have made sense in 2007. The Galaxy is an iPhone just like the iPhone. It's an internet phone. In that, someone within Galaxy, they can video chat with somebody that has a Galaxy or any kind of phone, except an iPhone. iPhone being a little limited now because iPhone was the first. Do you follow? In that, when y'all say iPhone, y'all don't realize y'all saying internet phone, and even a person with an Obama phone has an internet phone or an iPhone, meaning it has internet access. And so I'm just giving you that little reference, meaning there's a lot of things this generation doesn't grasp. But a laptop and an iPhone, this is the consumer version of a scrying mirror or Ouija board, the real version. And these things is used for communicating with the spirits, not the consumer version. These things been around before they were consumer products. Now, the laptop and the iPhones we have, this is just the consumer version, but you have the elites. We're talking like country owners or whatever y'all view as elite, kind of ruling the world. They have the real version of the laptop, which is a Ouija board. And they use it to communicate with the spirits. See, before religion and before the alien agenda, people worship the spirits. I'm sure y'all have all heard that before. There was no religion, there was no alien talk, there was just the spirits of the dead. And people worshiped these spirits of the dead. It was a bunch of them. And they sought to bind them with instruments. I'm saying instruments because in today's times y'all not clear how that science works, but I'm sure y'all have heard. In the past, people used to worship spirits. They used to seek to bind them and then bleed them for their information. Now, there's many orders and statuses amongst these spirits that the people in the past used to worship. There's many orders and statuses and legions. Legions is just like your countless many that have no status. Kind of like civilians. You have your stars, you have your politicians, then you have your countless civilians. Kind of the unnamed, but they're present. And they're many. They kind of having the power over the powers, but not knowing it in that they're their own power, called the legions. The chaos. You get it? So just look at it like that. In the spirit realms, you have, the orders amongst the spirits that have status. And then you have the countless legions that worship these spirits that have order and status. Men summoning are trying to bind these spirits. These spirits are having like spirits over them that they view as like God. In that, do you get my point? Now, out of all these spirits and their orders, the one over all of them is Elyon. Elyon. You may have seen it in ancient Hebrew. El Elyon. It's pronounced Eli, like E-L-Y, Eli, like Jesus said, Eli, Eli, Lama, Lama, or whatever he said. Like that. Eli on. Basically, y'all modern day word, alien. Alien. Thank you to whoever gave back. I appreciate that. Alien is not some flying strange thing from another planet. An alien is the most high in regards to the spirits. Aliens just the agenda to throw y'all off from that. The spirit summoning practices was banned back in the Salem witch trials times. In that, anything having to do with that practice was banned and kept from the public. This is why y'all have religion now instead of spirit summoning. But in y'all religion, there's a bunch of angels, demons, and all these characters. Spirits. They just covered everything up because they basically put the sorcery on the public. Meaning they give y'all the spirit summoning devices, but y'all don't know that they're that and y'all have no access. But it's not about y'all, it's about the spirits having access to y'all. Meaning they sold everybody out to the spirits. Do you follow? That's why they give the phones away for free. Because the spirits are bound to the phone, and it's always been about binding the spirits. You get it? They worship the spirits. And y'all ain't allowed to. Y'all can worship fake names, the title God. This is just an umbrella term for all the spirits. You get it? Them knowing all the names, y'all not. Y'all just have that word God. Like that. And that's for a reason. In the past, men worked out their own little pact with the spirits. That part. Now y'all have no relationship with the spirits. I ain't saying this is good though. You don't want to be dealing with the dead. But the dead is real. You follow? And so the dead is before the living. Any duality. You have to have hot to have cold. You get my point? You have to have the opposite in that. Life and death go together. It's like the before and after. It's like the flame and the smoke. You know, when you blow out the flame, then you got the smoke, but it's the same. Now, like I said, in the past, they worshipped the spirits, and the spirits had all these orders and statuses amongst them. And amongst all these spirits, you had one that was the most high. And that one was called Alien. Like y'all word alien, but spelled E-L-Y-O-N. You can Google it. E-L-Y-O-N. L-Elyon, but it's pronounced alien, like our word alien. And that was basically the most high spirit over all the spirits. And this is the one that they've been searching for since the time of Abraham. Remember, man worshiped the spirits. They're trying to bind different ones, working their way up the order. The higher up you go, look at it like an information thing. The higher up you go, the more information or wisdom you can have. This is not like a metaphor for something. You get it? You have spirits of the dead in real life. They have no access to y'all. We have no access to them. But you have mediums, like the plants. The psychedelic plants, or any plant you could think of, its roots go down into the ground, like the dead. You use a certain psychedelic plant, let's say DMT, next thing you know, you're in DMT land, meaning you're in the realm of the dead. They say, man, I seen a machine elf. They were in the land of the dead, playing with the old magic. People were running around high back in the day. Like I said, you got spirits of the dead in real life. and you have to know how to access them. Now, these spirits, and the many orders of these spirits, was documented in the Lemegeton, that's the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Book of the Offices of the Spirits, Pseudo Monarchia Daemonum, that's your Liber Spiritum. These are books. Peace and wisdom. These are books that I just named, and they have the order of the spirits, and you get it, the names of these spirits. Now, these spirits in the past were contacted by way of seals. A seal is basically a recipe of a mixture of psychedelic substances. So DMT, or how we have DMT today, is a mixture of different substances, not just what we have as DMT. Your alcoholic beverage, it's a substance, but it's more than just one substance. It's a mixture, a recipe. You have to know how to make beer or boor. That's what beer would have been called in the past, a spirit named boor. Now, the seal would have been the chemical formula or structure of the substance. Every substance has a chemical formula. Think like molecule. Molecule is substance. Molecules have a chemical formula or a shape. The seal would have been the shape or the chemical formula of the substance. If you was a sorcerer or a scientist of the time, you would have known that. If you weren't, well, it's like now. I'm a scientist. In that, I grasp. Y'all don't. I tell y'all, then y'all grasp. Oh, I get it. Here's my book. If you have my Kabbalah book, I have many different seals in there. And the chemical formula of certain substances right next to it. I did it with viruses, drug substances, many different substances. I put the actual spirit next to it and it's sealed, so you can see it's exactly the same. If you pull up Boer, or if you have my Kabbalah magic book, I have the seal of Boer. And the seal of Boer is the chemical formula that is ethanol. Ethanol has that strange chemical structure. It looks like Boer, how they have him all crazy looking. And as above, so below. So if you look at, what is it, Sagittarius, I believe? It has that same. Like I said, if you have the book, my Kabbalah book, it's in there. But that's what a seal would have been in the past. And you can make the seal in metal if you choose to bind the spirit, or you can read the seal and then you would know what substances to mix together, take it, and it will take you to the specific spirit. So you have many different concoctions in life that y'all don't know about. Meaning y'all know about drugs in that sorcery, so to say, which is basically mixing different substances together to get high. But that goes deeper. Meaning in the past you had specific substances that you would get from flowers, of course. You can get DMT from a toad. You can get certain psychedelics from chicken's blood. So in the past they was dealing with the organics. So they may say, go get me these roots, go get me a chicken's foot. You get it? And they about to mix these things together and either heal you, harm you, or send you to a specific spirit. But you have to know the recipe. The recipe lies in the chemical formula. And that's how they contacted the spirits in the past. They would go see a shaman or a witch doctor. And of course, the witch doctor would know all the spirits. in the recipe of contacting, which is a mixture of substances. You take it, or they would take it, and then you get my point. Blast off to those realms to that spirit, having their time with that spirit to talk to them, or whatever the case may be. The spirit telling them all that they know from when they was living. These being the spirits of the dead, though. So if you have a DMT and you seen like machine elves or strange entity changing shape and form, he was dealing with the demons. He was messing with the old practice, summoning spirits. Now, that evolved to telecommunications, meaning man can't just get high all day to communicate with the spirits without losing himself in the drug use. So of course the spirits explain to man, you get it? What I just explained to y'all, like the plants is the medium between the living and the dead. And of course the plants, they have their metal count within them. You get my point? And everything lies in the metals in regards to connection. And so this is where men, learn telecommunications. This is your telephone, radio, but this was used in the past to communicate with spirits before it was a consumer thing that the public used. It was used by the elites to summon spirits. So the seals are the drug mixtures in contacting the spirits evolved to telecommunications. The spirits being the ones giving man the wisdom for all these things. If you ever wondered, how does a telephone work, man, that is strange. I'm over here, they're all the way over there. I can speak to them because of this tower. Spirits taught man all that. The spirits know how to communicate with the living, which is in a different realm, but they don't have the means of building. So, manipulate man through the word. Do this, do that. And you get my point? Do it. Let's get this going. Like that. In the past, man lost in the spirits. Spirits telling things he ain't never knew. They show him how to rule over other men. But I'm just giving y'all a perspective. The phones and radios in the past, they were used to communicate with the spirits. And then, of course, that evolved to computers and online. But we're speaking of the elite of any time. The public always having like the watered down version or the toy. So we have iPhones and laptops, but you have the elite or the highest up you can think of. They have their computers like CERN, and they're searching for the spirits. It's always been that. You get it? I wouldn't care what point of time you go in. It's always been searching for the spirits. They're not searching for aliens. They're searching for Elyon, the most high spirit. And that alien thing is just to have y'all thrown off from that. Now, I think they found Elyon. That means the most high of the spirits. You may have heard it in Jewish religion. Elyon, Elyon, is pronounced Elion. Like when Jesus was on the cross and he said Eli Eli, it's pronounced Elion. Elylion, Elion. Same way y'all say alien. That come from that word. They just spell it different. Alien. That's Elion, or the Most High. And like I said, I think they found good old Elion. This is the Most High. The thing is, I think they found the Most High Spirit to didn't realize the Most High Spirit found them because he won't leave. You get my point? It's like you're seeking for something and find it. to didn't realize, damn, it found me. Like, I didn't find it. It found me. Now I can't get rid of it. Like that. Think of like Yoruba or Santa Maria and these, what we would call spirit religions. Think like a Legba. This is the little kid introduction spirit, meaning you summon a Legba first, and then a Legba brings you to all the other spirits. A Legba being a little boy. In other cultures, his name is a Legua, Ellegua, or a Legba, Elegba, a Legba. But this little boy, he's usually in black and red, looks like a gesture. You summon him first in the past, and he bring you to the rest. He is also an old man, so you can say a Legba is a little boy and an old man, or he's the beginning and the end. Meaning a Legba is the most high spirit. He's the old man at the end, the oldest spirit. You get it? And it's a trick. It's one spirit in its many emanations in perspective, but that's deeper than the point of this video. The point of this video, I'm trying to get y'all to grasp. The spirits found man, but man think he found the spirits. You get it? Now the spirits are bound to the phones. And through y'all phones, they get to see and hear and interact somewhat in the physical and control y'all. That's why y'all be losing y'all minds on these phones, especially the young. They're bound to the spirit. It been with them from such a young age. If you grasp, the phone got a spirit bound in it. The spirit listening and watching through the phone. The spirit not truly being bound. They want it to be like that. Like I said, man found them, but truly realized they found man. And you get my point? They're bound to the phones. The space station and the satellites in space are means of communicating with the spirits. Like I said, they're not searching for aliens, they're searching for the alien. But I think they found it. Everyone's assigned a spirit over them through the phone. Google Maps, Google Earth, from the satellites and all that up above. That's for the spirits, not for y'all. That's what it started for. And so you have to grasp. All these satellites and towers y'all see up in space is for that. Dark space. That's the darkness. It's where the spirits of the dead are, or the eternal dead. When I say the spirits of the dead, I'm not necessarily speaking y'all dead loved ones. I'm speaking what was dead before y'all was alive. What's always gonna be dead. The living dead, the eternal dead. They like gods in life. You have those that die that fall into all of that, becoming legions. But you get my point? That's why the ancient practice is to say, like, stay away from spirit summoning. Once you find the spirit, it found you. And you get it? It have you bound. It own you. Think like your phone. If I tell y'all get rid of y'all phones, man, right now, y'all can't. Say, I can't, Solace. I know. The spirits in there, y'all have all felt like y'all phone was watching y'all at one time or another. Or listening, where you like, I don't know, it feel weird. Maybe I'm just tripping because it's real late at night and I be bugging out sometimes. Nah, you wasn't bugging. You ain't got intuition for nothing. I'm sorry, you don't have intuition for nothing. You know what you felt? The spirits are in the phone. We far gone from whatever y'all reading on spirit summoning. You get it? Y'all just now picking up the Lesser Key of Solomon. That book old. We in the future. They sold everybody out to the spirits. Like I said, you got all them satellites out in dark space. That's the internet. The internet being the darkness that the spirits is in. You get my point? And so before you knew of an internet where y'all go online, it was always that. Towers and space stations and all of that was built before y'all knew of them. Them always searching for the spirits. It's how they catch a signal of the spirits. You get my point? Like how you know the phone work between you and somebody that live in another place? What's the difference from the realm of the dead? Meaning if there's a realm of the dead where ain't nowhere in your place, what's so different about you calling somebody that live in Russia? They ain't nowhere around you. That's a whole different place and realm. Meaning Russia is in a whole different space and time than America. Y'all don't understand things, meaning they got y'all dumbed out. Time travel been. Russia's in another time and space than America. They didn't bridge gaps. All these places y'all know of and y'all fly to, what do you think an airplane is? You think an airplane is what? That shit take you up into the grayness where you don't see nothing. That part. It take you into time travel zone. And then y'all land. This is why the pilot needs that thing that tell you like the direction. 40 degrees north, 30 degrees east. In the time. 40 degrees north, 2 o'clock. These places y'all go to, y'all would never be able to drive there, walk there, or sail there. The sea in the sky is the time travel portal. You follow? The seaport. The airport. Why they don't call it the carport? Because the car ain't a portal. The boat that travel on the sea being the portal that separate times being lands, places in their time and space, separate by the sea or the portal, same with the sky. When you travel from New York to California, you go into a whole different space and time, a place you would have never seen unless you built a time travel machine, which is an airplane or a big ass ship, and hope you make it that way. That's the old school way where you die and never make it, but you try. Like that. Y'all are traveling to places that are in a whole different space and different time zone. Look at it like 24 hours of a day, and every hour is its own place in space, separate from the other hour. And you have lands in that space and place, completely separate from the other hour, which is a space with places there. And the only way you will find those places if you know the time and direction it's at. Otherwise, you won't never find it. This is why we have a compass. They would never find nowhere unless they know the time and direction to put in. It's a time travel device. You get it? All the places are in their specific time. Of course, they have trains and bridges and all this weird things connecting what wouldn't be. It's kind of like you talking on the phone and you say, man, now my phone could go international. More connections. They're connecting the spaces that wouldn't be. And so if you think talking to the dead is strange, Talk to somebody that's nowhere near you. Talking to the dead is how that technology started. Meaning y'all phone is for communicating with the dead. You can use it for that right now. The spirits in your phone right now listening and watching. Everybody's. Y'all don't know how. I was gonna say something just now, but and then I was gonna tell y'all to ask Siri something, but it's not important. Y'all should be able to grasp what I'm saying without any weird happenings. And so you have all those satellites and things out in space, space being the darkness or your realm of the dead. The only place of the living is Earth. Anything outside of Earth is extraterrestrial, or that basically means dead. You got terrestrial, which means it's a living thing in Earth. Earth being the place of the living. And anything outside of it, the realm of the dead. Do you follow? And so once you go out of Earth's orbit into space, your ass is in the realm of the dead. It's cold and dark. The internet is patterned after that. And how we get on the internet is no different in the past if they were like using it like a Ouija board. Y'all use the internet like that, like a Ouija board, like y'all summoning spirits. Y'all say, Siri, what this mean? Google, what this mean? Google come from spirit so many times, meaning Google was like voodoo. In the past, when you had all the spirit summoning stuff going on, that's where that word Google come from, like googly eyes. If somebody in the past tell you, man, she got googly eyes for you, that means she like possessed, obsessed with you. This all come from them spirit practices in the past. In the past, when you was using a Ouija board, you would have been Googling, searching for spirits, looking for a connection. And that's what y'all say when y'all online. Y'all say, man, I lost my connection. I'm Googling. I'm surfing the web. The web is the realm of the dead. And so Google Earth and all of that and all them satellites that make for that is for the spirits of the dead can pry into our world and hear and kind of control. They're in the smart technology. Everybody has their own phone and their own spirit bound to that phone. That spirit manipulating you. So if you ever feel like, man, my phone fucking with my emotional state, there's a spirit in there. Believe it or not. And you get my point? That shit is controlling your mind, and slowly over time, you get my point? Now, the spirits are not bound to the phone, but they're bound to like the satellites and the things out in space. Our phones being connected to that. We are having like an IP number or a number of sort that identifies us. In that if we switch phones, it doesn't matter. That number carries over. The spirit being bound to the number, so to say. Meaning, whatever you see online, it's like the Matrix. A binary code of numbers that shows an image. We see the image, they see the number. But it's the same. You get it? They see the image, but through the number. We see the image without the number. If we see the number, that's something else to us. We probably won't see the image, and vice versa. And so, there you go, 360 Global TV. Peace and wisdom, man. I'm going to let you go. Enjoy your day. So long. Now, where was I at? Some people so simple-minded and lost on the lowest things. It's pathetic. I hope some of y'all find y'all place elsewhere, I do this for those that support, those that have good spirits, the kind. not the foolish that like to nitpick, and focus on the low, dumb things, their lower emotions. Lessons is what I call them. Now, I'll let you off block one day, maybe. And so hopefully you guys grasp. All of that is for them to find the spirits. Of course, if you grasp how far along we are, well, when I say they found alien, we really far along. They found somebody. They found somebody that know everything. Because if you grasp all of this that's going on in regards to the technology and where we truly are and how dumbed down y'all are, then you will grasp what I'm saying when I say they had to find alien. This is the Most High, our Elyon. Peace and wisdom, KJ Rocker. You have to make your question more. Question have to make more sense. This video is not about geometry, but whatever you want me to speak on. You get it? And geometry is something that people take up in school. I'm saying it so you can grasp it's a lot. So what do you want me to speak on in regards to it? It's like me telling you speak on the Bible. You say, man, the Bible kind of big. Maybe you know what part. Maybe you want to know what part you want me to speak on. Other than that, what are we talking about? Now, energy patterns. Salam, shalom. That's geometry to you? Stay where I'm at. Peace and wisdom. You have the space station. And you have the 7 on it. This is basically the 7 lords of below. Maybe you read some scholarship and you heard of the 7 lords of below. I think they have it in ancient Mayan in a Popol Vuh. 1 death and 7 death. It's just 7 lords of below. Like I said, spirits is a real thing in life. If you think they got technology floating around in space for no reason, you a fool. Searching for the spirits. Found them. Got them bound to the phone, meaning they sold a public out to the spirits. The spirits want access into the world. The elite want wisdom of how to rule this world and, everything they need to know about the existence. And so you get it? They sold us out to the spirits. Now y'all have y'all cell phones, and believe it or not, it's controlling you. Your Google is not like my Google. If I Google something on your phone, something different may pop up. You follow? If you Google something you always Google on your phone, try it on somebody else's phone right now that may be near you. Something that you always Google where you like, when I Google this, it always pop up right there first. It's not going to pop up right there first on their phone. Something else is. Where you going to get confused like, hold on. Your phone wants you to know or see things a specific way. Their phone, a specific way. The spirits in the phone, they get a perspective of how you are. Once it have a perspective of how your mind work and your patterns, then it can alter those patterns or bombard you with those patterns. Let's say you like to watch a lot of basketball and a little bit of this or that. Again, once it get a perspective of your pattern, then it can push you deeper into that thing or pull you away from it. And that, some of y'all might have watched a tarot card video or this video, and now you way deep into it. It all started with one stupid video you seen. And now you all isolated out and crazy, half crazy like a lot of these girls is, lost in the tarots and stuff. But it all started with one video. You got some of y'all on here on the phone, like dude that shot them people up on the train. The older dude, what was his name? Frank James. You think people just wake up one day and say, I think I'm gonna go shoot up the train today. The phones control y'all mind. It's an algorithm thing. It's a numbers thing, like I said. And so, you get my point? Peace and wisdom. I'm gonna go on ahead and let you go. If any of you guys have questions, I'm gonna ask them. I'm about to depart. I don't have time for, you know, mental case people. My wisdom is for those that have a mind. Now, I was gonna explain the 7, but y'all are all scrambled in there with the dumb, trying to avoid the dumb. And so hopefully you guys grasp. If any of you guys want to know the rest, you can always get a one-on-one. Or you can join the channel. I'll probably finish this up there. Salam.